Oh, hey YouTube, Pete Two Finger back repairing this Xbox or what is it? Logitech Windows PC. It's a game controller and the cable broke. So at this point, I've got the board prepped. We lifted one trace. The wire is prepped, and I've got the big black or main ground wire up in, sitting through the hole. I'm going to do these one at a time, and I've got a real fine tip on my iron, and of course we go to film and I completely fail. The wire came out right when I put pressure on it, and the PCB moved a little bit. So what I'm going to do is go in and use the desoldering brake with the iron on top of it and lightly remove that solder. And at this point, you know, if you wanted to really take your time and be careful, or if you have a second person holding the one wire, or you could use some tape or hold it yourself. Right now I've got it in place. I'm trying to get it so it's like perfect. So I just have a less than a millimeter of wire sticking up. And there, I got it. So we're going to give that a second to cool, and then I'm going to go ahead one at a time try to feed this. I think we could do with a better lighting setup here. Isn't there that lamp? Wow, that came on right when I looked at it. She blinded me with science. Okay, so here I'm going to go ahead and add some flux to this because it did not stick, and really only want to be doing this stuff one time. You don't want to be over and over and over. So it's big black, red, white, green. And you'll find often that the engineers are designing this stuff with the same pinout. So this here, this red wire, the way that the flux, the way that the solder went on it, it's a little bit wide at the end, so I just snipped that off. Thankfully enough, it was also a little long. Oh, here's another one. The green one's like that too. So I lied, they weren't fully prepped. You know, at this point, I've got the flux is kind of all over this board on both sides, which is fine because we're in the process of repairing this. But when we're done, we're going to really go out of our way to clean that off of there using rubbing alcohol. Wow, this one is like, it needs to be done the old-fashioned way, so I've got to be careful to not move. There we go. You want to get a close-up?
You know what? It was close up, and when I move
okay.
physically closer,
We're
it gets
working
blurry.
right in here. There's actually a shadow of the... So here's the one with the broken... I'm looking, there's this pad here. I could just bend that over and solder it to the pad. But I've already got this jumper wire. Here, we'll do a little beep test. So I'll show you. There's a little pad here. like they knew I was going to do this. I'm going to go to this resistor where I followed this track with my eye. And there you go. So you can see I soldered here underneath that capacitor, soldered to the other side of that resistor real carefully, just bing. It actually made that noise. So now we have white. White's our problem area, our problem wire. This is the one that has the jumper. So we're going to poke the white through, and while I'm at it, we're going to do a 2 for Tuesday because it's Monday, and put the green through. Now that green is really long. I'm going to snip that down. We're going to do the green first. So I clean my tip. That's one thing you always want to try to really concentrate on, keeping your tip clean. Come in, I put the solder iron on one side. Touch the solder actually to the iron to get it started. And then kind of pull it all out and make it nice. Now here is this nightmare. So that's that. Now, I suppose we can do another part since the idea is, well, here's what we'll do, okay? I'll show you how I clean the flux, and then we'll take a break. I'm going to go in the other room and plug this in, and we'll see, did the fruits of my labors come up? Are we jive talking? Am I a big turkey here? Whoa! So yeah, as you can see, no shortage of the rubbing alcohol. And I've done this to countless PCBs. And actually, this is a fix for when stuff stops working. You remove these pads and clean them with alcohol. Clean the bottom too, and then that will get you back and running. Sometimes they just get dirty, like a remote control for your TV and that volume button, the one that you always use it. Let's see, which side does this cutout go on? They don't tell you, and I didn't really pay attention. Oh boy. Well, if something doesn't work, I know when I assemble this that it's more than likely this thing. And these pads, these little rubber guys, you pull them and they pop into place. You actually got to tug on those a little bit, but we'll go ahead. There's some dust in here. I'm going to clean that out. We did the one side. I kind of tend to double clean everything. Supposedly this flux has acid in it, and it will eat away at the traces, which is the biggest line of hokum. I had a guy come in on a forum, don't listen to Petey, never ever use plumber's flux for electronic solder. Get the F out of here. At this point, I need to shut this off and get my embossing tool. The idea behind the embossing tool is it's a hairdryer and it dries up the residue, the liquid of the rubbing alcohol. Speeds that process up. I just don't want to blow a fuse, so I shut my soldering iron off. Maybe I wouldn't, but... So here we go. Apply just a little bit of flux. Clean my tip. so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the it's the white wire, not the red one, you dummy. It's confusing because it's white on one side and red on the other. Pull it down a little bit, so maybe keep it out of the way. Okay, we're going to take a break. I think this is part 6 or part 7 coming up. I'm going to take it in the other room. We're going to plug it in and see if it recognizes itself, and then it'll merely be a process of boxing the thing up. So there you go. Well, I don't need to do the lead out. I can do that in the next video. I'll see you in a second.